Hello everyone and welcome to Beewealth After-Market analysis on the 25th of March 2021. Today we'll be looking at the markets and the market news and the ASX 200. Buy now, pay later player Hum is growing in the healthcare industry. They're providing $120 million of health and dental care cover over an annualized basis. Hum says its average transaction size in the sector is more than $4,000 and it can extend loans up to $30,000 for 5 years. Bhp puts paid to $9 billion British lawsuit threat. An English court has handed BHP a final and emphatic victory in its defense against a $5 billion class action by 200,000 Brazilians seeking compensation for the 2015 São Marco Dam disaster. AMP CEO Francesco De Ferrari resigns today following after his departure has been negotiated with the board of directors. China iron ore demand softens but trade surplus firmly above $8 billion. Iron ore exports to China have dipped in the traditionally slower Lunar Year season, leaving Australia's overall exports to China down 2.1% on a year ago. The ASX closed today up 0.17% at 6,790.60. I'll check top three. These are the following ASX 200 data. The top three gains today are ABC with a gain of 5.28%, PNV with a gain of 4.88%, and BKW with a gain of 4.71%. The highest declines today are RSG with a decline of 26.19%, HUB with a decline of 13.99%, and NWL at minus 13.66%. The highest trading values for today are CSL at 249.68 million, BHP at 212.47 million, and CBA at 172.33 million.
Some detailed information of these stocks.
Some detailed information about ABC is that it is in the materials industry and it closed today up 5.28%. ABC was previously renamed from Adbri Limited, and they are an Australian integrated construction materials and lime producing group of companies. The value of this company is 8.04 million. So 1 year ago, their stock price was around $2, and it has risen to 3.5 this year. Three years ago, the stock price was sitting at $6 before experiencing a fall to around $2 early last year before recovering to the price it is today. 5 years ago, it has been stable at around 5.5, and the stock has progressively reached the point today. PNV company known as Polynova Limited is in the healthcare equipment and services industry and experienced a change of 4.88% today to close at 3.01. with a company value of 8.7 million. They are an Australian-based medical device company that designs, develops, and manufactures thermal regeneration solutions using its patented NovoSol biodegradable polymer technology. 1 year ago, the stock price was sitting at around 1.5 and has reached 3 today. 3 years ago, the stock was at approximately $1 before increasing in 2020 to around 2 and a spike early this year. 5 years ago, the stock was stable at $1. Oh, wait, no, the stock was stable at 0.3 before reaching its current trajectory and stock price. Today, PolyNovo signed with Premier Inc., signing with Premier Inc., a major US group purchasing organization for the supply of NovoSol. Brickworks Limited is in the materials industry and experienced a change of plus 4.71% today to close at 19.800. Brickworks Limited is a group of Australian-owned companies that have 3 main parts: the business model, the building products group, and the land and development business. The value of this company is 12.99 million. 1 year ago, the stock price was around $16, and it has experienced a downtrend following into an upwards trend to reach the value of 19.8 today. 3 years ago, the stock price was $15, and the stock has experienced upwards and downwards trends. 5 years ago, it was also around $15 before a slump in 2017 into an upwards trend until today. The company has delivered another strong financial result with statutory profit up by 22% to 71 billion in the first half. The declines for the ASX 200 stock today, the largest one being RSG Group, also known as Resolute Mining Limited, which experienced a change of minus 26.19% to close at 0.465. They are an explorer, developer, and operator, having operated 9 gold mines across Australia and Africa, which have produced in excess of 7 million ounces of gold. Their company value is 21.86 million. 1 year ago, the company's stock price was around 0.8 before reaching its peak of 1.5 in around August 2020, before the slump back down to 0.5 today. 3 years ago, the stock price was sitting at around 1.25, looking stable until a peak in around the late half of 2019, before another slump to 0.5 today. 5 years ago, the stock price was also 0.5 before a peak in the late 2016, before slumping down to around $1 for 3 years and slumping to 0.5 today. company HUB, also known as Hub24 Limited, experienced a daily change of minus 13.99% to close at $20.850. They are a company listed on the Australian Securities Exchange. Hub24 is a company listed on the Australian Securities Exchange, which was established in 2007. Hub24 Custodial Services, Agility Applications, and Paragam are all wholly owned subsidiaries of Hub24 Limited. It has a current value of $17.78 million. The one-year trajectory for this company is mostly stable in 2020 before experiencing an upwards trend in early 2021 before a sudden drop in March 2021. Three years ago in 2018, the company was fairly stable for 2 years before experiencing the upwards trend in 2020, similar to the graph above. 5 years ago, it was also very stable with a slight upwards trend before experiencing the upwards trend earlier this year. Netwealth Group Limited, known as NWL, known as Netwealth Group Limited, experienced a daily change of minus 13.66% to close at 13.78 today. Netwealth Group is a fast-growing fintech company providing superannuation and non-superannuation platform products to financial intermediaries and clients. They are currently valued at $38.26 million. 1 year ago, they were trading at around $5 before experiencing an upwards trend in the late half of 2020 to stabilize at around $15. 3 years ago, they were trading at also around $5 and were stable for 2 years before experiencing an upward trend this year. 5 years ago, they also started at $5 and were mostly stable, experiencing a slight upwards trend before 2020, where they experienced a big upwards trend. News from today said that there is a change in deposit arrangement. The company announces that the agreement with ANZ about the interest payable on the total pooled cash transaction account is to be terminated in 12 months, 24th of March 2022, under the terms of the agreement. The agreement provides a margin of 95 BPS above the overnight cash rate and will continue for 12 months. These are the highest ASX 200 stock trading values. Csl Limited is in the pharmaceuticals and biotechnology and life sciences industry, experiencing a change of plus 1.43% to close at 269.830 today. CSL is a global specialty biotherapeutics company that develops and delivers innovative biotherapies. They have a value of $255.29 million. 1 year ago, this company was trading at around 275 before reaching a peak in April at 325 before experiencing a downwards trend to end at 270 today. 3 years ago, this company was trading at around 180, experiencing a slight upwards trend by the start of 2020. 5 years ago, this company was trading at 100 before experiencing a slight upwards trend over the following years. Bhp Group Limited is in the materials industry and experienced no daily change today to close at 44.88. Bhp Group Limited, formerly known as Bhp Billiton, was formed in 2001 as a result of a merger between Billiton PLC and Broken Hill Proprietary Company. It is a mining and an oil and gas company that operates in 25 countries. It has a value of $245.92 million. Over the past year, BHP has been fairly stable with a slight upwards growth to end at its current price today. 3 years ago, it was trading at 30 before experiencing a slight upwards trend and a massive dip in March 2020 before regaining its upwards trend. 5 years ago, it was trading at $20 and fairly stable and experiencing a slight upwards trend. CBA, also known as Commonwealth Bank of Australia, is in the banks industry and experienced a daily change of 0.2% today to close at 86.540. Commonwealth Bank of Australia is a provider of financial services, including retail, business, and institutional banking. They have a current value of $185.53 million. Over the last year, Commonwealth Bank has gone from $60 to $86 with slight upwards trend. 3 years ago, Commonwealth was trading at around 70 before reaching a peak of 90 in early January and experiencing a large drop before regaining its upwards trend. 5 years ago, Commonwealth was trading at around 75 and was fairly stable between the 70 and 80 range for 3 years before experiencing the drop in January 2020. These are the highest penny stock gains. MHK, also known as Metalhawk Limited, experienced a daily change of plus 30.56% to close at 0.235. They are in the materials industry and is a company pursuing various mining opportunities in the resources sector, including acquiring, exploring, and evaluating mineral resource project opportunities. They have a current value of $715,674. Over the past year, this stock has experienced a slight downwards trend, starting at 0.25 and ending at 0.235. 1 year ago, the stock was trading at 0.25 and experienced the same slight downwards trend. Viking Gold tenement granted. The company announces that the Viking Gold project application has been granted and covers an area of 210 kilometers. The project is subject to an earn-in agreement with Csl Limited. FRB, also known as Firebirds Metals Limited, is in the materials industry and experienced a daily change of 24.59 to close at 0.76. Firebirds Metals Limited is a mineral exploration company with its headquarters in Perth and has a current value of 2.76 million. Over the past week, the stock has gone from 0.6 to 0.7. And in the past 2 weeks, the stock started at 0.5 to reach 0.7 today. MAM, also known as Micro Equities Asset Management Group Limited, is in the diversified financials company and experienced a daily change of plus 20% to close at 0.54 today. Equities is a specialist micro-cap and small-cap fund manager that invests using a value-based investment doctrine. They're currently valued at $97,030. Over the past year, this company started its trade at 0.2 and experienced a slight upwards trend to finish at 0.54 today. Over the past 1.5 years or 2 years, it started at 0.75 before experiencing a downwards trend that ended in March 2019 before experiencing an upwards trend until today. These are the highest declines for penny stocks. RSG, also known as Resolute Mining Limited, experienced a daily change of minus 26.19% to finish at 0.465. Resolute Mining Limited is in the materials industry and is an explorer, developer, and operator of 9 gold mines across Australia and Africa. They are currently valued at 21.86 billion. Over the past year, they've traded starting at 0.8 before reaching a peak of 1.5 in 2020 August, before experiencing a downwards trend until they reached 0.5 today. Over the past 3 years, they started trading at around 1.2 and were fairly stable for 2019 before experiencing a peak in 2020 before experiencing a downwards trend. 5 years ago, when the company traded at just under $1 and experienced a large upwards trend in July 2016 before slumping back down to $1 throughout 2017 and 2018 before experiencing a slight upwards trend in July 2019. IKW, also known as Equities Mining Limited, is in the energy industry and experienced a daily change of minus 21.52% to close at 0.31 today. They are a resource exploration and development company aiming to create shareholder value through the acquisition, exploration, and development of coal projects in South Africa. They have a value of 20,956. Over the last year, they traded for 0 before the end of 2020, where they had a stock price of around 0.43. And that 0.43 has remained stable until today. The same applies for the past 3 years and 5 years. GLE, also known as GLG Corporate Limited, is in the consumer, durables, and apparel industry. They experienced a daily change of minus 18.75% to close at 0.26. GLE is a global textile and apparel supply chain manager of casual lifestyle knitwear apparel to major US retailers. They have a current value of $7,215. Over the last year, their stock price has remained fairly stable at around 0.2, experiencing a slight upwards trend at the start of the year before experiencing a slight downwards trend in March. Over the last 3 years, the stock traded at just under 0.2 before experiencing a spike in March 2021 to over 0.2. The same applies for the last 5 years. These are the highest penny stock trading values. PLL, also known as Piedmont Lithium Limited, is in the materials industry and experienced a daily change of minus 12.39% to close at 0.955. Piedmont Lithium has changed its name and code from WCP Resources and is a lithium company founded in 1983 and based in Australia and has a current value of 27.06 million. Over the last year, the stock price was trading at just above zero before experiencing an upwards trend in October 2020 that has led its price to reach almost $1 today. Over the last 3 years, the stock price also traded at just above zero until the end of 2020. Over the last 5 years, the stock price has also remained stable above zero until the spike in mid-2020. RSG, also known as Resolute Mining Limited, is in the materials industry and experienced a daily change of minus 26.19% to close at 0.465. The company is an explorer, developer, and operator, having operated 9 gold mines across Australia and Africa. And it has a current value of 21.86 million. 这个已经读过，还是重新读吗？ Okay. And this stock has been talked about earlier. BRN, also known as BrainChip Holdings, is in the software and services industry and experienced a daily change of minus 2.29% to close at 0.64 today. They are a provider of software and hardware accelerated solutions and is valued at 14.14 million today. Over the last year, the stock price traded at just above zero until the middle of 2020, where it experienced a peak, reaching almost $1 before stabilizing at around 0.5. For the 2 years before that, the stock has been fairly stable, hovering around 0 and 0.25. And the same can be said about its past 5 years. Thank you for watching.